Most people think you need rich, premium bag soil and expensive commercial fertilizers to run a highly productive raised bed. They're wrong. In fact, filling a raised bed entirely with pristine, store-bought compost is one of the fastest ways to guarantee your root systems stay shallow. Your soil compacts within 12 months, and your plants underperform during the first real heatwave of July. The gardening product industry has spent decades hoping you wouldn't figure that out, because the moment you do, you stop buying what they're selling. If you're looking at your raised beds right now, noticing the soil has dropped 4 inches since last spring, wondering why your heavy feeders look slightly yellow despite everything you've poured into them, this isn't a willpower problem. It is an engineering failure. By the end of this video, you'll know 15 specific structural, biological, and metabolic hacks that completely bypass the commercial garden center model. We're covering everything from the exact layering sequence that forces roots to hunt deep to a 48-hour fluid hack that solves blossom end rot without a single store-bought product. Let that sit for a second. Meet Miriam, a 45-year-old teacher who spent over $400 filling 3 new cedar beds with premium organic mix. Season 1 was decent. Season 2, her tomatoes stunted, her spinach bolted immediately, and the soil felt like concrete 6 inches down. She followed every instruction on every bottle perfectly. It still failed. Because the commercial gardening content industry has spent decades stripping ancestral knowledge from ordinary people. They want you to treat soil like a machine that requires external fuel, rather than what it actually is, a living, self-regulating ecosystem. Look, I want to be upfront about where I stand. I think the modern gardening industry has deliberately complicated soil science to keep you locked into seasonal product lines. I've followed the data and tested these reframes across multiple growing cycles. You should know my position before we dig into the first layer. Before I go further, let me explain one thing. The mechanism at the center of everything we're doing today is called the Hugelkultur Principle. In traditional German and Austrian alpine agriculture, practitioners buried rotting logs at the base of growing beds. Here's why that wasn't superstition, it was physics. As buried wood decays, it absorbs up to 5 times its dry weight in water during heavy rain, then releases that moisture slowly back up into the root zone during drought. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Sustainable Agriculture confirmed that beds built on this principle retained 40 to 60% more soil moisture than conventional raised beds through an entire growing season. The bed waters itself from below. The reason this matters here is that 90% of home gardeners build their beds backwards. Finest material at the bottom, heavy stuff on top. We're changing that today. The reason a raised bed that has to be watered every day is a raised bed that was built wrong. The Carbon Vault Foundation. Hack 1. The Carbon Vault. Base. Stop buying gravel for drainage. Gravel doesn't drain a raised bed. It creates a perched water table that rots your roots. Instead, fill the bottom 1/3 of your bed with rotting logs, thick branches, and rough, woody material. Ugly is better. This is the Carbon Vault. It creates a massive biological battery at the foundation of your bed, holding moisture for weeks, cutting your irrigation frequency by up to 60% over a full season. Hack 2. The Cardboard Nitrogen Shield. Before you drop that wood in, eliminate the existing weed seed bank without plastic mesh that blocks earthworm entry. Lay 4 layers of thick, non-glossy corrugated cardboard directly over the ground. Wet it until it feels like wet leather. It creates an immediate anaerobic barrier for deep weeds and dissolves within 6 months, leaving a clear pathway for microbial activity to move up from the earth below. Hack 3. The mid-layer inversion. Most people mix topsoil and compost evenly throughout the entire bed. Don't. Plants don't grow in uniform soil in nature. Drop your least refined, coarsest organic material, undecayed leaves, small twigs, straw, directly on top of your logs. Then put your premium finished soil exclusively in the top 8 inches. Young plants get immediate access to clean nutrients. As their roots grow, they're forced to drill down into the rougher layers to find moisture, creating deep, drought-resilient root architecture that no bag of potting mix can replicate. Hack 4. the nitrogen pairing rule. I can already see the comment someone is typing right now. But won't burying raw wood rob nitrogen from your plants? I thought the same thing. Then I found the field data from university extension trials. Carbon only ties up nitrogen at the precise interface where wood touches soil. By keeping your raw wood strictly in the bottom third and your nitrogen-rich amendments in the top half, you create a fertility gradient. The top stays rich, the bottom stays structured. The two never fight. Are you building new beds or restarting old ones? Drop new or old below right now. I want to see what we're actually working with across this community. The Moisture Architecture section. Hack 5. The Clay Core Moisture Lock. If you have heavy clay soil nearby, do not dig it out and replace it with sand. Clay is a mineral goldmine. Smash chunks of native clay directly into your middle layer. Clay particles are microscopic plates that hold calcium and magnesium far better than pure compost can. It prevents your expensive nutrients from washing out the bottom of the bed every time it rains. Hack 6. The Subsurface Irrigation Trench. Stop watering from the top. In a hot raised bed, up to 40% of surface water evaporates before it ever reaches a root cell. Dig a shallow 6-inch trench down the center of your bed between plant rows. Lay a simple perforated weep hose inside it and cover it back over with mulch. You are now injecting water directly into the root zone. The surface stays dry. This single shift eliminates up to 80% of fungal leaf disease. Hack 7. The Living Mulch Canopy. Bare soil is dead soil. If sunlight is hitting your raised bed surface, temperatures at the top can reach 110 degrees Fahrenheit, baking your soil microbes alive. Plant low-growing companions like trailing nasturtiums or low thyme directly at the base of your heavy feeders. They shade the root zone, regulate temperature, and attract predatory insects that handle pest populations without any intervention from you. The Soil War Zone. Before I get to Hack 8, stop what you're doing for a moment and look at this, because this is the piece everything else was building toward. The zone immediately surrounding your plant roots, the rhizosphere, is the site of the most intense biological competition on Earth. Billions of organisms fighting for position. And your plants are not passive in this war. They're broadcasting chemical signals through their roots, actively recruiting specific bacteria and fungi, trading sugars for minerals. When you add synthetic fertilizer, you flood that system with nutrients so abundant the plant stops recruiting. The biological relationships dissolve. The soil becomes a growing medium instead of a living ecosystem. Modern analogy. A neighborhood where everyone stops knowing each other because delivery services handle everything. The infrastructure exists, the community has just been switched off. That's the real cost of fertilizer dependency. Not expense, biological disconnection. The Zero-Input Harvest System. Hack 8. The Metabolic Timing Protocol. Plants do not absorb nutrients at the same rate throughout the day. Apply liquid fertilizers or compost teas in afternoon heat, and the plant's stomata are closed to conserve water. They cannot process what you're giving them. The application washes away or burns surface root hairs. Apply liquid amendments exclusively at dawn, precisely when the plant opens its pores to begin transpiration. Visible green up within 48 hours. Half the fertilizer. Name it what it is, the Metabolic Timing Protocol, and write it down, because this is the kind of shift you will want to come back to at the start of every growing season. Hack 9. The Biochar Sponge Infusion. Never throw raw biochar directly into your raised bed. Raw charcoal enters dry and acts as a vacuum, pulling every bit of available nitrogen and moisture away from your plants and stunting them for an entire season. Charge it first. Soak your biochar in a bucket of liquid kelp or fish emulsion for 5 days before burying it. It becomes a permanent, preloaded nutrient battery. One application, decades of effect. A 2022 paper in Applied Soil Ecology found that biochar-amended beds showed significantly higher microbial diversity after 18 months compared to unamended controls, even with lower overall fertilizer inputs. Hack 10. Chop and drop instead of clearing. When a plant finishes, most gardeners pull it out and compost it off-site. Stop doing that. Cut it at the base. Leave the root system in the ground. Lay the stem and leaves flat as mulch. The root channels that remain become pathways for water infiltration and earthworm movement. The decomposing top growth feeds the fungi already established in your bed. You're not clearing, you're depositing. Are you currently using chop and drop, or do you clear your beds completely? Drop your method below. I'm genuinely curious about the split. The structural maintenance section. Hack 11. The thermal deflector. Wooden and plastic raised beds absorb massive radiant heat through their side walls. If your beds get full sun all day, the soil along the outer 3 inches becomes a dead zone where roots refuse to grow. Line the interior walls with thin reflective insulation sheets or corrugated metal panels before adding soil. This deflects external heat outward and keeps the entire soil volume at a uniform temperature. It's a small detail. It's the difference between a bed that lasts 4 years and one that lasts 14. Hack 12. The autumn nitrogen trap. When summer crops finish, do not leave the roots bare or pull them entirely. Chop the plants off at the soil line, leaving root systems intact inside the bed. Then seed a thick cover crop of crimson clover or hairy vetch directly over them. These plants lock atmospheric nitrogen into the soil through their roots all through winter. In spring, chop them down and let them lay as mulch. You've just generated up to 2 pounds of pure nitrogen fertilizer per 100 square feet for the cost of a handful of seed. Hack 13. The trench compost bypass. You do not need a separate compost bin. Dig a deep vertical hole directly in the center of your raised bed every autumn. Drop your kitchen scraps straight down into it. Bury it with 8 inches of soil. The earthworms already living in the bed migrate to the center, process the waste directly inside the growing zone, and distribute their castings throughout. No turning, no hauling, no extra work. The calcium and pH correction files. Hack 14. The Calcium Acetate Fix. If your peppers and tomatoes are suffering from blossom end rot, stop throwing eggshells into the soil. Raw calcium carbonate in eggshells takes years to break down and become water-soluble enough for a root to uptake. Make it instant. Crush clean eggshells and submerge them in ordinary white vinegar at a 1:10 ratio for 48 hours. The acid breaks down the calcium immediately, creating water-soluble calcium acetate. Dilute that liquid with water and apply it straight to the roots. Visible correction within days. Save this video to your gardening reference folder right now. The next time you see a dark spot forming on a tomato, you'll need that exact ratio before the crop is lost. Hack 15. The Microbial Inoculant Theft. The most expensive bottles at the garden centre are Microbial inoculants and mycorrhizal fungi packets. Here is how you get them for nothing. Go to a healthy, undisturbed local woodland. Scrape away the top layer of dead leaves and harvest 2 cups of the white, web-like fungal threads growing in the rich leaf mold beneath. Mix that directly into your raised bed soil. You've just introduced a diverse, localized ecosystem of native fungi that have spent thousands of years adapting to your specific climate and regional soil pathogens. There is actually one pre-colonial West African soil preparation technique I deliberately left out of this video because I haven't personally tested it enough to stand behind it yet. If you think you know what it is, drop it below. I'm running a 30-day trial right now. Subscribe so you're there when those results come in. Now you know the 15 hacks. But here's the thing I haven't said yet, and this is the part that changes how all of the above actually works together. These aren't tricks, they're the surface expression of a single principle. Your garden shouldn't survive on what you buy. It should thrive on what you prevent from leaving. Every hack on this list is pointing at the same thing, building conditions where the bed does more work than you do. The gardeners who actually get there are not the ones who work harder every season. They are the ones who build smarter once. I almost wish I hadn't gone this deep into how commercial gardening products are manufactured. Because once you see how simple it is to harvest native microbes, build moisture infrastructure into the foundation, and feed your soil with what was always already there, You can't go back to the version of the world where buying plastic bags of dirt feels normal. You're stuck with this now, just like I am. If you are someone serious enough about your land to understand why things work, not just what to do, subscribe. Every week on this channel we go this deep. We explain the mechanism, not just the method. And that is the only thing that separates a grower from a gardener. Now that you understand how to manage the metabolic and structural layers of your soil, you need to understand what happens to your root systems overnight when you use municipal tap water versus collected atmospheric water. Because that chemical difference is the real reason your organic matter degrades faster than it should every summer. That video is right here. Which of these 15 practices are you already running in your beds? Count them up and drop your exact number below. If you're doing more than 8, you are operating at a level ahead of 90% of home growers. Let's see who is actually building living soil.